Hi guys, Alice Taylor down here at Lytham Golf Academy, and I'm going to do a little video today on how to choose or help you choose which is the best model iron for you. Right then guys, so like I said before the little intro there, we're going to talk about in this video which style and model of iron is best suited for you as an individual golfer. Now obviously you're not hitting the shots I am, but we're going to look at the ping range of irons. So we're going to look at iBlade, i210, i500, G410 and G700. So very different models, potentially aimed at different golfers, not so much handicap wise, but very much how you deliver the club and therefore your ball flight. Different models will suit some ball flights better than others. Right then guys, so if you're new to the channel, welcome down. If you enjoy the video, consider clicking the subscribe button and ringing the notification bell. Follow me on all my other social media platforms, all under Ali Taylor Golf. But for now, let's get on with the video. Right then guys, so I'm going to hit a couple of shots with each model. We're going to go iBlade, i210, i500, G410 and then G700. We're going to use TrackMan to track the ball. I'm on normalized mode because it's a little bit windy down here today. And we're going to use the optimizer on TrackMan to show for what TrackMan believes would be the ideal kind of launch and flight conditions for 7-iron, which one of these 5 models would be best suited for me. And then as we look at those numbers, maybe you guys can get a bit of a better feel as if you were looking at ping irons, which model would be best suited for the way you launch the ball and the kind of ball flight that you have. So we're going to start with iBlade. So certainly the smallest, most compact, most lofted 7-iron, so the most traditional out of the 7-irons in their sets. Like I said, couple of swings, and let's see. Visually, I love the look of the iBlade. I think it looks really, really good. Off we go. Let's see how it performs. So I've hit that absolutely perfectly. And we can see there, good shot. So that one carrying 161, total 165, and we can see the optimizer there saying that that's just back a little bit on where I want. Kind of certainly from ball speed a little bit low, launching a little bit high, but that spin rate absolutely perfect. And then just kind of top end of where I would want trajectory wise. And we can see on the left hand side there, we could just do with that flight being a little bit flatter. But let's go one more with iBlade and let's see how that stacks up. So just a little bit to the right. Again, felt a good solid strike. So we can see there, left the club face a little bit open, so it's added a bit of loft. Obviously more loft means less ball speed. That spin rate still right up where we want, and peak height really, really good. So we can see with iBlade there, I launched the ball just a touch high and maybe just drop off a little bit ball speed on what it thinks is ideal. I still think for me it's forgiving enough to play, and one way I could get round that a little bit is maybe just kind of strengthen the lofts a little bit, maybe taking a couple of degrees of loft off that, and that should get those launch conditions into where I want. But let's move from iBlade onto i210. Okay, so I'm going to use the exact same shaft in all of the models. I know some of you guys will say that potentially different shafts will work better in different models, but equally I know some of you guys will say I should use the same shaft, so I'm going to stick with the same shaft. i210, so slightly bigger head, obviously a little bit more forgiveness, a bit more technology in the head. Again, let's hit a couple of shots and see how it performs. Certainly look-wise behind the golf ball, still think it looks pretty good size-wise for me, not too big and chunky. Off we go. So again, felt a great strike. Nice and straight. And we can see there carrying 161, total 164. Again, it's saying not quite optimum for me. So still just launching a little bit on the high side. Spinning great, and that peak height good, but ball speed just under 119. So I am going to look at all the numbers together for the different irons in a second, but just going to talk you through kind of what we'd be looking for to optimize this. So the last one with I210. Again, felt nice and solid. Certainly flying pretty decently. And again there we can see 161 carry. We can see 118 ball speed, so just very fractionally back. Still launching a little bit on the high side. Spin and height absolutely perfect. So very much as I saw with iBlade. Again, possibly just getting the loft strengthened a tiny bit on there, because neither of those first two models particularly kind of modern lofts, not completely traditional, but closer to that. So that moves us into I500. So certainly for the I range, this is the most forgiving, hollow head, still a very, very good looking golf club. And certainly as we pop that behind the golf ball, I don't think it really looks any bigger than I210, but visually maybe looks a little bit more like the iBlade. Okay, a couple of shots with I500. So this is definitely where the sound changes a little bit for me. It's definitely a little bit more clicky. So carrying a little bit further at 169. So we see there my ball speed jumping up to 123. We can see launch angle 19 degrees, so still a touch higher than we would ideally like. Spin bottom end height good. So definitely starting to see in I500, even though it's not absolutely perfect, that first shot was probably closer to what the best possible shot is for me with a 7-iron. So one more. So again, felt pretty good. And again, be pretty happy with the shot. Nice accuracy. So we can see now that ball speed definitely getting up. That one actually going a little bit further than TrackMan thinks I should be capable of producing. Now we can see there the spin just a little bit lower, so slightly stronger loft. Definitely just taking a little bit of spin off there. And at 170 carry, we're seeing a very, very powerful 7-iron. So just as we're going along here and I'm changing club, be interested for you guys to comment below and let me know that when you go for a fitting, let's say you were looking at Ping irons, would you want to hit every single model, or would you very much listen to the fitter as to their advice as to which model would be best for you? Right, so G410. So certainly visually an improvement. Not as much offset as the G range I've had in the past, but definitely looks a slightly longer head from toe to heel. Still not a bad looking golf club though, so certainly I use the phrase players club a lot more, and I've had a few questions about that. For me, a players club is something that's maybe not as forgiving, a little bit thinner top line, a bit more compact head. So this is definitely game improvement, but looking a bit more like a players club. So a couple of shots with G410. So again, felt pretty solid. See how that one's got out there. Okay, so 165 carry, 166 carry, 173 total. So we can see there, ball speed really good. Launch angle getting a little bit lower. So definitely stronger loft on G410, and we can see as a result of that more ball speed, lower launch, but the negative to that being lower spin. For me though, I'm still able to hit the ball nice and high because of the distance I'm hitting the ball. So last one with G410. So if anything, just felt a tiny bit low on the club face. Still very centre, but just maybe a little bit lower strike. So again, 165 carry. We're looking at ball speed down a little bit, launch angle down, spin, again, just lower. So for me, straight away, as we're getting into G410 and maybe that loft's getting cranked a bit more, not seeing ultimate performance, but still performing really, really well. So let's switch over now onto G700. Now, G700 is very different. It's hollow again, so kind of more like the i500 in construction. So much more metalwood technology in this, but it is big, it's chunky, it's powerful looking. And we're expecting this, with the design of the head, to certainly launch the ball up in the air, which is again where the manufacturers then feel like they need to strengthen that loft a little bit. But everything about G700 is screaming, get the ball up in the air, hit it high, hit it long. Okay, last couple. G700. So a little bit like the last strike on the G410. Felt a tiny bit low on the club face. We can see there, 162 carry. So ball speed was down. Didn't feel that bad a strike, but definitely lost a little bit of speed. Okay, one more with G700. I'll just turn that one over a little bit. It'll be interesting to see how that one's gone. Okay, 182 carry, where it says it thinks my max should be 174. So we'll look at that. Really high ball speed at 127. Launch angle at 17. Lowest spin so far at just over 5,000. I'm still very, very high. So let's look at how the clubs compared side by side. So if we look at the shots, we saw very, very consistent distances for iBlade at 159 carry, front to back, spread very good. A little bit side to side, which is very much down to me on dispersion. The i210 we saw incredibly close and two right next to each other. i500, again, fantastic consistency on distance, and again, pretty good on control. We saw the G410 at 165.4, both of them going the same distance, so very, very forgiving, and a little bit bigger spread. And then the G700, interestingly, even though it only fell a tiny bit off the bottom, we saw a very, very big change in carry. But the really, really flushed one that was left was very, very long. So probably saw a little bit more inconsistency with G700 than I did with anything else out there. Right then guys, so we looked at some numbers there and I was a bit surprised, to be fair. I know the strike on the first G700 wasn't flushed, but it was actually very, very centered, just a little bit low on the face. And I wasn't expecting such a drop off in that club. But certainly for me, certainly with fittings, I've seen guys that hit the ball low, definitely favoring kind of G700, not doing so much in kind of iBlade anymore. And it's been out for a couple of years, so maybe a new model coming from Ping. But certainly i500 is a very good looking club. Very, very forgiving, so it's ticking a lot of boxes. And G410, I think, has been a big improvement on kind of previous G models, and that's why guys are moving a little bit on performance, but maybe a bit more on looks and feel. So if I'm looking at those, for me personally, i210, probably slightly the best grouping of shots, but maybe not quite as forgiving as i500 would be. Therefore, if I was picking a new set of irons out of those personally, I would probably look at i500s. But if you're in the market for new irons, even if it's not ping you're after, this is just a bit of a guidance as to which model might suit you best. Get along somewhere, get fitted, hit different models from different manufacturers that suit the way you deliver the golf club and see what performs best. Obviously, if you can come down and see me, that'd be great, but if not, loads of great guys out there doing some fantastic work fitting for clubs. Get along, see them, put some clubs in your bag that help you play better golf. So guys, hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, like and share it. Comment below, I'll get back to as many of you as I can. If you don't already, click the subscribe button, ring the notification bell. Let's make sure you get my videos as soon as they drop. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, both under Ali Taylor Golf. Hopefully catch up with some of you guys down here in the future. Stay in contact.